Okay guys, welcome along to the first quick update in regards to, what would you call it? I call it this Project YOLO. Now I've never used that, that acronym, okay, I have used it, I've put it in a comment once. I don't use it often, and if you don't know what it means, it stands for you only live once. So the umming and ahhing about doing this is over. I put the video up, so there's no turning back. Alright, so first thing we want to do here, the first consideration is this bird's nest below we've got here. Multi-rotors are never pretty, they're just functional. So you tend to just route things, you know, wherever you can. That's not going to get caught up in the props or any of the other gear. So obviously when I built this, I had no intention of dropping a payload. So as you can see, it's just a mess down there. So using it normally, that doesn't matter at all, but we'll need to clean that up. The main thing we have here is this, well, cable harness, I guess you'd call it. This is just a power distribution lead, and it takes power off to all those bright LED lights that you saw, and the video, here we go, video transmitter, which broadcasts the signal from either the front camera here or video out from the GoPro that's under the gimbal. So this thing sucks quite a bit of juice. We've got a battery in the front just for the accessories, running the video transmitter, the LEDs for the lights, the brushless gimbal just to keep the video steady, and what else? Video switcher, the front board cam, yeah. Lots of bits and pieces. But I think we'll start with trying to cable tie all this stuff out of the way. Now the annoying part is I've got this stalk. I would be able to just rest it on top here, but I've got this GPS antenna and compass, which ain't gonna, probably would hold the weight, but it's a bit reckless. So let me just figure out some way to rest this upside down. I'll do. So this is the area we want to clear out. Well, we won't be able to clear it out, but tidy it up. The main thing is to get this cable, all these bunches of cables, as flat as we can against the bottom of the copter here, just so we've got something for the MRE to sit against. Now we've got a few considerations when working through this problem. One of them being all-up weight. How is that extra weight going to affect the flight characteristics? Centre of gravity, slinging a big mass underneath, even though it's going to be more or less in the middle, is still going to affect the, the fore and aft centre of gravity and also the lateral balance. So we have to take all these things into consideration to make sure that before we fly that things are well balanced, give it as best chances possible of success. Now the other thing is going to be the release mechanism. So I'll just get the MRE. So we're going to have this secured in here well enough for it not to break free or bounce around just when it's flying normally, yet also be quickly released to enable it to just drop, well, from this camera angle, climb cleanly away without snagging on anything, bumping anything, and having it all release all at one time. So it's going to be no good to me having 2 release points. Essentially, I need it to go bang and drop. Another thing to consider is that the flight controller on this thing is going to be putting a lot of juice to these motors, trying to keep this in the air, just hovering. So as soon as this load drops, all of a sudden the flight controller is going to go whoa, because it's going to shoot up in the air. The barometric air pressure sensor in this flight controller is going to realize that it's shooting up really quickly, and it's going to go, hang on, and cut the power to the motors pretty quickly, and there might be a bit of unsettling. I think it's a good controller. It's a DJI NASA, so it should be able to cope with it pretty well, I think. What else? Parachutes. Small but important part. Right. So I need to stuff 2 of these somewhere on here. What have I got myself into? Alright. So I'm thinking the only way to roll is to have the parachutes either on the bottom of the MRE, secured by whatever I have to secure the MRE in, and then basically as the MRE drops, these things will just fall away and open up. Problem is, if anything goes wrong and these chutes start to unravel in flight and get blown around and caught up in the prop somehow, we're going to have a real bad day. Got to think this through carefully. So I think first of all, we need to make this MRE as slim as possible. We've got these big floppy edges hanging around. I think we need to put it on the Jenny Craig and do some tucking in. So these big wings on the MRE are a bit of a blessing and a curse. For one, we're going to need something to attach the parachute cords to, so these make nice sturdy attach points. The other thing is that they're just too big. They're taking up too much real estate and we need to shorten them. So I'm thinking we could, whilst also reinforcing these attach points, you just sort of do one of these, fold it over, perhaps even in the corners as well. Yeah, seems okay. Problem with that is you push all of the contents in the MRE to one side. Remember we talked about balance, so it's going to have to make sure that the stuff is more or less in the center, and we've got about the same amount of material at each end to work with. Okay, after some extensive laboratory testing, as in me jumping around the lounge holding onto a parachute, sorry I didn't capture that on camera, I've decided to make an executive decision, and it seems the best way to go will be one parachute. There's quite a bit of drag on these things. I can't remember quite how big they were. I think about 80 centimeters across. They're actually built for model rockets. I had some other crazy scheme you don't want to know. So we're going to go with one parachute, and you're going to have one attach point. So it's either going to be at the top or the bottom. Just holding on to the ends of all of this paracord, it it seemed to operate the best when all of the ends were together in one place. You pull on it that way, it opens up beautifully. So, you know, why mess with that? So, okay, let's try and secure it to one end then. Alright, now if you're an electronics enthusiast or an electrician, you may want to look away for the next part. Soldering iron abuse. Ooh-wee. Okay, we have our hole and we have a stinky house, so excuse me while I quickly open up all the windows. Alright, there we've got our hole. That's where the parachute cords are going to go through. So let's put that on. John Connor, if you're watching, I think it would have been much easier for me to actually drop a can of Sloppy Joe, if I could find one. Alright, there's the chute. Just chuck that out there for now. I just want to get all of these cords even. They're all basically little loops, so just need to stick your fingers through them. Give a pull. Okay. Pop them through the hole. Now we need to get our loops again. I'm hoping this is going to work. Grab the chute, pop it on back through that loop, and give it a pull. Okay, more or less worked. I just need a few little tangles to deal with. Yeah, alright. Just like I bought one. It's all coming together rather nicely. Let's get that chute back on the scene. Find the top of it. Here we go. Fold her up. Ta-da! There we go. The payload. Now, as I mentioned, I need to do a bit of nip tuck on this puppy just to get it a bit more compact. I probably could go around with you know, with tape, electrical tape or something like that, but I don't really want to spoil the look of the, you know, the MRE too much. I don't want to just see a, you know, taped up black bag falling from the sky. There's no fun in that. But we definitely do need to get it trimmed in a bit. It's a bit awkward. Let's see how this goes. Okay, seems like we're getting somewhere now. Sorry, poor MRE. It's for your own safety. Okay, well, we're starting to look a lot more slim. So we just need to take care of these corners, and I think we'll be pretty well sorted. These MREs can fold up to be quite compact actually. Well, there we have it, folks. One MRE, as far as I can tell, ready for flight. Yeah, we'll just bring Teddy back into the equation here. Sorry, Teddy. You're the only Teddy in the world that can say you've done this. Turn you around. I know it looks like a horrible mess here of colours and wires, so I'll try not to give you too many of these shots. But I just wanted to show you, what an improvement our little modifications have been to the space this takes up. This is, swing a cat in here, there's plenty of room. Parachute though is actually a bulky part of it. I'm only aware of one way to fold a parachute, so it's probably not the most efficient way to do it, but it's fine. Got plenty of ground clearance for the skids. Alright, so we need to work out how we're going to release this thing. Well, I happen to have a few of these lying around. Now this, if any of you are into radio control stuff, you'll probably recognize as a electrically retractable undercarriage leg, specifically a nose wheel leg. You can see the steering. Now the good thing about these is that they're fairly strong and they have positive locks, so they get to either end and they'll lock in place, unlike a servo where it's going to really struggle and drain power to try and keep that servo arm in one place. So considering this is going to be under a bit of strain from however I choose to secure the MRE, I'm thinking rubber bands at this stage, I wanted something to be a bit robust and protected from overload conditions. So if something binds up, this thing here isn't going to trip out and burn out and draw way too much current. So anyway, you probably want to see what it does. So usually it'll be in one position or another. It's kind of in a halfway point here. It'll either be undercarriage down or undercarriage up. What I'm going to do is simply use it as a latch, or a hook, a release hook. So we'll probably ditch this leg, or most of this leg, and we'll just use the actual moving parts. So anyway, here's what it does. It's just going to keep cycling at the moment. It's going to go from up to down, but of course normally it'll either be in one or the other. There we go. Isn't that cool? Could just watch that all day. So there we go, so that'll be the next part, just trying to figure out exactly how to mount this and how to get it to release reliably. Well, that wraps up the first update for the Can MRE's fly. Sorry it's been such a long video. I guess time flies when you're having fun. It's been enjoyable capturing it on camera, and I'm glad that a few of you out there are enjoying it too. So next videos coming up will be ration reviews, and we'll have one out by at least Thursday. So thanks for watching.